After having a horrific, to say the least, 2018 season, the New York Giants seem to have entered a full rebuild. They elected to trade Odell Beckham Jr. to the Browns for some draft capital and Jabril Peppers. They did not franchise tag their starting strong safety Landon Collins, and he is now with the Redskins. And they once again traded with the Browns, this time Olivier Vernon for Kevin Zeitler, along with some draft pick swappage. In the most recent Giants news, though, this might come as a shock. Eli Manning has decided to retire. That's 100% correct. No memes. As you can tell by this article, that was written by this handsome man. That is entirely factual. There's no exaggeration in this. It's entirely true. Just trust me. Pay close attention, though, to those final two sentences, as they are probably the most important sentences in the entire article. The Giants have many holes in their roster, that's for sure. But as the draft nears closer, quarterback might be their biggest one after this whole Eli Manning fiasco, retirement fiasco. So with the 6th and 17th overall picks in the draft, the Giants are in a solid position to snag their potential franchise quarterback. With that being said, in the first round, the Giants go ahead and add Devin White from LSU and Josh Allen from Kentucky to the roster. They had 2 linebackers, and it should also be noted here that Gettleman actually tried to draft Eli Manning, but was not allowed to. They followed those picks with defensive lineman Christian Wilkins from Clemson in the 2nd round. Adding some much-needed offensive lineman help, the Giants then select Dalton Reisner out of Kansas State, and it's rumored that he will potentially be playing right tackle. It's not solidified yet, though. Their next 3 draft picks are spent on defensive players: Anthony Nelson out of Iowa, Jamel Dean out of Auburn, and Juan Thornhill from Virginia. They also joined the team. With their final 2 picks in this NFL draft, the Giants select 2 wide receivers, Anthony Johnson from Buffalo and Hunter Renfrow from Clemson, because, you can never have too many slot wide receivers, right? The Giants did not fill their biggest need through the draft, so the organization looks at the undrafted free agents and decides to choose a quarterback from this group. So as a result, the new starting quarterback for the New York Giants is going to be
McSorley across the middle. Touchdown! Juwan Johnson. Penn State wins it. A walk-off touchdown.
That's right, Trace McSorley is going to be the starting quarterback of the New York Giants in 2019. I'm sure a lot of Giants fans will not be too pleased with that. But anyway, welcome to my Trace McSorley career mode on Madden 19. I have to address something before I go any further into this video, though. I understand that Jerome has just started a Kyler Murray player career on the Giants. I'm not trying to copy him. I just want to make that kind of clear. It's just sort of coincidental that we both chose players with like the same archetype to be on the same team. Both quarterbacks, like both scrambling quarterbacks, But the reason why I chose Trace McSorley to go on the Giants. Well, first off, the reason why I chose Trace McSorley. I'm a Penn State fan. I go to Penn State for those of you who don't know. And when I did my Saquon Barkley career mode back on Madden 18, I knew that I wanted to do a Trace McSorley one the year after, when he graduated and potentially got drafted. I knew I wanted to do a Trace McSorley one, and I also wasn't entirely sure which team I wanted him to go on, but then I thought about it for a bit, and I thought it would be interesting if Trace McSorley went to the same team as Saquon Barkley, because of course they played in college, had success together there. I think this makes for a pretty interesting series idea. Again, though, I'm not trying to copy Jerome. If you want to watch a better YouTuber, a better Madden player use a better quarterback, go watch Jerome. He makes great videos, of course. I'm sure most of you guys know who he is. Makes excellent videos. He's much better at Madden than I am. And Kyler Murray is much better than Trace McSorley. So if you want to watch those, feel free to go watch him instead of me if you want. But this is going to be more of like a struggling franchise because Trace McSorley is a far lower overall. Let's go over him as a player. As you can see, he's a 70 overall. I gave him star development because I want to see if he can develop quickly. When I did my own player career, for those of you who have been watching me throughout the entirety of Madden 19 so far, you should know that I started another player career as a quarterback, but I made myself. I was like a 40 overall. I didn't really develop too well. It took forever. I was horrible. So I ended that series. Now, having that knowledge of how slowly I progressed, I gave myself star development in this one, or I guess I gave McSorley star development, just in hopes that he develops pretty well in the first season. He's a 70 overall. As you can see by his stats here, 86 throw power, not the best because he doesn't really have the best throw power in real life. 74 deep accuracy. Out of all the accuracy stats there, his deep is definitely his worst. I can say that from experience of watching him in real life when I go to the football games. His medium accuracy is alright. It probably shouldn't be that high, if I'm being honest. His short accuracy, I think, is pretty accurate at 82, so I think that's fair. but maybe his medium should be a bit different. I don't know. I don't think it's going to make that big of a difference, to be honest. His awareness should also be a tad bit lower if I were to change anything else, but I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. His speed, though, he might not have the best arm, but he makes up for it with his ability to move the football with his feet. 87 speed, 84 acceleration, 85 agility. I think those are all fair assessments there. So, NFL teams were reluctant to take McSorley because they were kind of concerned with his size. 6 feet isn't too bad. 202 pounds, a bit small, a bit light for a quarterback there. And they were also worried about his arm. His arm strength isn't phenomenal, doesn't have the best accuracy stats, but teams were maybe going to take him just based on the fact that he's a good winner. He won a lot of games at Penn State. Of course, Saquon helped that too, but he was there. And then he was also, great on the ground, so that's always a plus. Teams wanted him to try out as a defensive back at the combine, but he neglected to do so. I think he came into Penn State being like a safety or something like that. I think he was a defensive back in high school. I think he might have been recruited as a defensive back to Penn State. He eventually switched to quarterback, obviously. Pretty good there. Let's see what he can do in the NFL. So now I will go over the rest of the team, just to give you guys a bit more in depth of the roster. Kyle Lauletta is currently like the backup. It says he's the starting quarterback, but I'll make sure he does not start. Saquon Barkley, obviously like the full inspiration for why I put Trace McSorley on this team. 93 overall running back. He should go off. Wayne Gallman, not a bad backup whatsoever. No fullback on this team right now. A ton of slot wide receivers here. Golden Tate, Sterling Shepard, Corey Coleman could probably play the slot. Hunter Renfrow played the slot at Clemson. So a lot of slot targets here. Also, Evan Ingram was great in the slot at Ole Miss. So you never really know what the Giants are going to do. Rhett Ellison, the backup tight end there. A lot better of a blocking tight end there than Evan Ingram. Nate Solder, starting left tackle, regressed heavily. Will Hernandez, the young left guard, should progress into a beast. John Halapio, maybe that's how that's pronounced. I know who this is, but I don't remember how it's pronounced. He just recently got signed, I think, to the Giants, so he's starting there at center. Kevin Zeitler, one of the newest acquisitions on the team, starting at right guard. Dalton Reisner. It was rumored that he was going to move to right tackle for the Giants, and that's exactly what he did. Pretty versatile offensive lineman here, can play multiple positions. Anthony Nelson, out of Iowa, the starting left end. I don't know why I specified his college, but I did. Who knows? BJ Hill was a rookie this past year. Solid right end. I think it was a rather late draft pick. I want to say like 4th or 5th round, maybe later than that even. He panned out pretty well, though. Dalvin Tomlinson, talented defensive tackle, going to be the starter, but Christian Wilkins will back him up and play in some packages if there's ever 2 defensive tackle sets. He's a great offensive lineman. Hopefully he can translate well for this team. Josh Allen, one of the team's first draft picks this past year. Excellent pass rusher out of Kentucky. Let's see what he can do, honestly, on this team. Hopefully he gets up a ton of sacks. Marcus Golden right behind him, just recently signed. Maybe veteran leadership here can try to coach Josh Allen to become a better pass rusher. Devin White, the starting middle linebacker. This linebacker core struggled last year, so they invested in it heavily in the draft. Alec Ogletree, BJ Gibson, not particularly good. Tay Davis, same goes for him. Devin White, hopefully, can revitalize this middle linebacker core. Lorenzo Carter, young, right outside linebacker. I think it was like a 3rd round draft pick last year. I'm probably getting my draft picks mixed up, but he can play, a couple different ways. He can, pass rush, 71 block shed, 77 finesse move. Zone coverage is 70, so he's pretty versatile. He can play both of those positions, both of those outside linebacker positions relatively well. Janoris Jenkins, aging cornerback, not particularly good. Grant Haley had a strong, I almost said freshman season. Rookie season out of Penn State there too. And then Jamel Dean, the newly acquired cornerback, 94 speed, can absolutely burn. The safeties, Antoine Bethea starting at free safety. I don't want this to be the case. I want Juan Thornhill to start, but let's see what happens, I guess. I don't really know what the team's going to do. I tried to make it so Thornhill started, but I don't think that's going to happen. And then strong safety, Jabril Peppers, maybe trying to replace Landon Collins, not exactly sure. Aldrick Rosas is the kicker. And Riley Dixon is taking over as number 10 on this Giants team. The reason why I did that is so Trace McSorley can have number 9, but I'm going to have some kind of backstory. Maybe Riley Dixon is like Eli Manning's best friend. He misses him so, and he just took his number just because, why not? So that is the New York Giants team, and Trace McSorley is the quarterback for it. I hope you guys are looking forward to this series. I'm going to keep this episode nice and short. The next episode, I will get into some gameplay. Let me know if you guys want me to play the preseason. I could potentially just play the moments of the preseason, something like that. If you want me to send by it, I'll do that too. But if you want to see some Trace McSorley action in the preseason, let me know. I hope you guys are excited for this series. I definitely am. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did enjoy, feel free to leave a like. And make sure you go back and read that article that I posted on the screen. If you didn't read it yet, I advise reading it. Those last 2 sentences, I'm telling you, very important. And I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.